Showdowns in the guys about Real Captain Ibrahim Toure as well. Concern about interview, I would be of course. So, if I say, me make part 1 to maybe 20, and the message so you know, subscribe and follow. Now, we'll be telling you now, so I will the reasons here. Captain Ibrahim Toure, person, obey your man, Peno, Burkina Faso. No about African leadership, and so Global, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Senegal, the African continent in Yanka, a bit me, and I am to my flat. You moved on the interview with the Kaya. Madam Libusane said, or can I say within about within 3 months, no, or by her man talk with some I walk a Burkina Faso near the Adene African in a 20 chat. Now, I want me and a banner say, you move on good in this year.
Good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening.
Some of your critics regularly bring up a statement you made, and this statement dates back to the very beginning of your time in power, when you said that if everything was put in place, 3 months would be enough to move towards ending the war. These critics now say that 3 years later, the war is still not completely over. Mr. President, how do you respond to this tonight?
All right, thank you very much, and thank you all for coming to this interview. It's true, that's what we would have wished for, but things did not go as expected, and I said if everything was put in place. So, there are several approaches to implement in order to achieve this goal within the given time frame, but not everything was carried out as we had hoped. First, adversity. So, as soon as we came to power, we had hoped that we would be allowed to work quickly and make progress. Unfortunately, some people approached us and wanted us to go along with their agenda because their goal was not for the war to end so soon. I'm talking about certain foreign forces that were present on our soil. We had heated debates with diplomats from elsewhere on the matter, but no one wanted us to move toward ending this war. We understood this through their message. If people come to us and tell us that we have to accept that they support the terrorists while also supporting us, it means exactly what it sounds like. This is a war being deliberately maintained. So we quickly understood and got rid of all the forces that were present here, whether they were French forces, American forces, and we realized that the struggle would be tough. The second thing was also that we believed we at least had a minimum stock of weapons and ammunition. Today, I can tell you what I actually found in stock, for example. There was, for all of Burkina, less than 100,000 Kalashnikov rounds, and as for weapons, we barely had 100. How were we supposed to wage a war? We had to re-equip ourselves, reinforce the army in terms of personnel, weaponry, and everything else. That's why the 3-month objective, if this prerequisite had been met, would have been entirely possible, but there was nothing. We were not prepared for war, neither in terms of equipment nor in terms of manpower.
Precisely, Mr. President. As you just said, when you took power, if we want to put it bluntly, there were more men than ammunition in the Burkinabe army. And today, where do we stand with the armament program for that army? And what are the signs that it is gradually gaining strength?
Very well. As I said, I can't fully describe the situation as it was. It was catastrophic. And as I mentioned, you might be concerned. There may even be soldiers in this room who were on the front lines without weapons. That actually happened in our army. So these are situations where you might think it was just, I wouldn't say bad faith, but rather an incomprehensible situation. For us, the weapons were there, but they refused to equip us. But when we were confronted with reality, we quickly decided to first focus on arming the personnel who were present. And that's when it became the Banner Korea. Because many powerful countries refused to supply us with weapons. So we turned to those who were willing to supply us with weapons. Very quickly we equipped ourselves, we recruited the VDP, and we were able to pay for everything we needed. We developed an equipment plan for a build-up in strength. And as you can see, for the past 2 years now, the equipment has started to arrive. It's still not over. And more keeps coming in. Maybe in a few days, you'll see even more new equipment being presented, which is mainly support equipment. Because first, the infantry had to be equipped so that every man could be issued a weapon. That was a big challenge. We've achieved it. We're still recruiting, as you can see. Every year, between 10,000 and 15,000 men have been recruited. That was a considerable effort. Because no matter what anyone says, adversity is there. The number of terrorists is increasing because the imperialists are recruiting many mercenaries who come to Burkina Faso to fight. So we have to adapt to the situation. And now we've entered our third phase, which is no longer about buying, but about manufacturing ourselves. And we're also involved in that now. So that's what building up our strength means. It's important to equip ourselves properly, but also to create a defense industry. That's very important.
In a few months or maybe a few years, our soldiers here will be using weapons made in Burkina.
Of course, We have the intellectual capacity. There are resources here, you just have to look for them. And that's it. We're right here at home. You'll see, you'll be recognized around the world.
Mr. President, in your opinion, can we win this war at this point in time? Are we going to win this war?
We can only win it. What else would we do? Rest assured, we're not going anywhere and we will win this war. I've told you, the threat keeps changing, but we are adapting. And the strength of the Burkinabe army was that it was one of the most resilient armies in the world. The pressure that Burkina faces, I don't think there's another country on this earth that faces such pressure.
Guys, Africa show dance. I have part 1 concern about Captain Ibrahim Toure Burkina Faso man penia. Or then some would want to do anyhow I say visit for Abuama Ghana and I say Africa and our Burkina Faso Nigeria Senegal Morocco and every coast in will be at my after Tima Patrano at my Aquaswo. To message us in our channel, so best subscribe channel for Serbia. The video